What's going on, guys? Jack7 here to bring you a video. This one's going to be doing my review for the book The BFG. Alright, good stuff. Alright, so let's get straight into the review. Alright, so The BFG was a really good book. I could not put it down. It's a page turner, and it's basically it's wrote by the wonderful and famous Roald Dahl. If you're not familiar with his works, go pick them up because they are. This book was definitely one of my favorite books of all time. I loved it. I really do love it. So as I was saying, the BFG is a book that is wrote by the famous Roald Dahl, who's wrote other books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, them sort of stuff. And the BFG starts, but let's get into the story. I'm not going to spoil too much for you, but this is my review. The BFG basically starts off in a small town in England, and we follow the story of a little girl called Sophie, who lives a miserable life in an orphanage, and due to her interest in the witching hours, like midnight and all that, she's very interested in them, and the story shows that, and the book really shows that in the wording Roald Dahl's used in these books. Yeah, so it's pretty good at explaining how she's interested in this and how her life is terrible in this orphanage, and you find out a bit more later on in the story how she hates it. And due to her interest in the witching hours, she sees something thought not to be real. She sees something that's not generally thought as real in life, though. It's a giant. In this story, giants are real, but in real life, let's face the fact they're not real. But books help us get away from like real stuff. Books, movies, and games. So yeah, it's what she thinks is not real is a giant, and she loves it. She's kind of frightened by it, and it's really well written. I really love how it's written in that story. A giant which snatches her out of her room and whisks her off to the giant country where he's from. And I really love how it's explained the story. How, it's a lot of detail into it, but it's just really good detail. Really enjoyed the detail put into that book to explain how she felt when this was happening. But she learns, though, that he's a nice giant, but other giants eat people in the night. And it leads them on an amazing journey where they have to go and save the world. They have to save people from these giants, and it leads them on an amazing journey to the Queen of England, and she helps out. But at the end it explains that the giants are captured at the end. I'm not going to explain how. Go read the book for yourself if you want to find out. But oh yeah, I've got to give spoilers. Yeah. Actually, I kind of said it was going to be spoilers, but there's always going to be a complainer. Alright, so, a nice, peaceful life, and they ended up staying next door to each other. Like, the giant had a massive house, and Sophie had a cottage next door to each other, and they lived happily ever after. But it says the BFG becomes an author at the end of this, but with someone else's name on it. And it says at the ending, and I quote, "But where, you might ask, is this book that the BFG wrote? It's right here. You just finished reading it." It leads you to many more things. Because if you read that to a kid, the kid's gonna start thinking, oh my god, giants are real. Oh my god. Yeah, so it's a really good story. My review is gonna be short because I don't like to dilly-dally on my reviews. I get straight to the point in them. But yeah, that was a really good. It was a really good book. Great page turner. I suggest you go pick it up. I think I got it for around £10 when it first came out. So I really can't remember. I will be doing some more reviews later today. And oh yeah, I am going to give this book a 5 as an average thing, like a book, average book, movie, TV show, and all that. And I'm going to give the BFG, Roald Dahl's The BFG, illustrated by Quentin Blake. I am going to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, that's a good book. Only thing to improve is if it was a tiny bit longer, I would have loved a bit more explanation, and because they explain the start really well, halfway through the book they barely did anything. The second half was a bit rushed in my opinion. It felt rushed at the end. But I still really enjoy it. I suggest you still go pick it up. But that's all I gotta say. This is Jack, and I'm saying peace.